Hey Scrappy Peeps! Suzanna here today to share with you a layout I created for Coco Daisy using the October kits. This is a layout I created called Racing in Paradise. This kit is full of succulents and luscious greens, which are very tropical. And I struggled with this kit in that I didn't really feel that I had pictures that went with this. And so I felt that it was a very tropical kit, and this is not a very tropical topic, my sun swimming per se. But we were down in St. Pete, Florida, and this pool was literally feet from the ocean. And when we were there in the very, very early morning hours doing our warm-up in the dark, the sunrise over the ocean and or pool was absolutely spectacular. So I converted this picture to black and white in order to be able to have it go with the pattern papers, and I decided that Racing in Paradise was a perfect title for this sort of more tropical paradise like pattern paper. And so I not only did I convert it to black and white, but I actually, it was more of a sepia tone color in order to match the browns that are found in the pattern papers in this kit, and those sort of more earthy hues. So I just, basically what this layout is it's an 8.5 by 11 layout that is lots and lots of paper layers. And it's silly that this video takes as long as it does, but it took a while to get all of the layers in such a way that they were aesthetically pleasing to me and sort of went along with the theme of the layout. So I cut a lot of the 6 by 6 squares down, and then that sort of chevron black, it's not black, it's actually a brown wood grain and white chevron is actually from a 12 by 12 piece of pattern paper. It is my favorite piece of paper in that whole kit, and I really didn't want to cut that up, but it was perfect there. And I created a pocket for the tag, as you can see there, that actually it houses some journaling, but the bulk of the journaling is you'll find at the end of the video at the bottom of the page there. So I knew with that pocket that I wanted to put that ribbon that you see there. It just took me a while to get there because I wanted to create some other layers. So this is just white tissue paper that I knew I wanted to soften the pattern papers with. So I just layered 2 pieces of that behind my photo. And again, as you'll see in a lot of my videos, my photo is on, the date is of the photo is on written on the back, and I need to make sure that I transfer that date to the back of the layout so that I can get that somewhere on the layout in order to be able to put that away not alphabetically, by date in my albums. And so I used that tag there, and I think it actually says fall on it, but I knew I was going to cover that up, whether I was going to directly put letters on or put another label over it. I had yet to be decided, and I knew that Paradise was going to go at the bottom with these letter stickers here, because I like the way that the pink and the green in these particular letter stickers complement the pink and the green that are found in that in the succulent, the pattern paper with the succulents on it. So, and I have learned to use scrap pieces of paper sort of as a ruler, just to make sure that things go down straight, because I'm not very good with straight. And I also have learned to spell things backwards in order to be able to guarantee that I find the spacing that I want. Now, I knew that these letters, I wanted to use those smaller letters for in. And the green wasn't, the dark green was too dark, and so I decided to go with the salmon. But in the meantime, I get distracted by finding some embellishments. So this pile of embellishments here are the exclusives that come with both the day in the life and the main kit, as well as the print and cut files. So I'm literally just sort of shuffling through things to see whether the sentiments match and or the colors that I've used with this particular color scheme from the kit will coordinate as well. I liked that banner. I thought the idea of putting "in" as part of the banner was a nice way of finding a home or a nestled home for those letters. And the things that I'm casting aside really either have phrases that don't apply or the colors don't match. I do have some scraps, the smaller pieces of scrap paper that are in this collection as well, and you can see the piece to the right of Paradise is a scrap piece. So that's where I'm going to put my title, and what I'm bothered by is I want that fall banner that is going to say racing where it is to the left of the picture there, but I feel like I get some trapped white space between the picture and Paradise. So I have to figure that out. So I'm playing with where I'm going to place these embellishments and how exactly they're going to look. I don't end up putting anything on the top of that particular piece there that I'm playing with, where I've got that pink. And I don't actually end up using that "love this" either, because again, it just feels like it's trapped. So I pulled out my stamps and I decided that I wanted to create for some more layers. So I wanted to use that label and use some labels that I was going to fussy cut out on the page as well. So I used that dark green cat's eye that came with the kit, and I stamped that twice, both on that sort of salmony pink as well as on this white sort of whitewash. And just get out my trusty old scissors and cut those out and try and find homes for those labels there. So this is the last of 4 videos that I'm sharing from my Cocoa Daisy kits this month. I created a layout with a long title using the many fonts and alphas that came with this month's kit. I have this one, Racing in Paradise, and I had a flipogram video. So actually I have 5 projects, a flipogram video showing you how I use these same label stickers to label my albums. And I also had a fall layout that was for the fall inspiration blog post, and a 4th layout which I will link in the comments below as well, and I don't remember what that layout was. So here I am trying to fill this white space. I knew I wanted the title here, but the way that I've put Paradise down, and I can't pull that up at this point, it's too far down the page, and so I need to figure out some way to get that white space filled in there. And what I will end up doing actually is journaling into it to carry the journaling from the left-hand side, sneak it across between racing and those labels that I'm going to put there. So now I have the exclusive die cuts, and I wanted to put something with the succulents in it, actually, to sort of tie the layout together, but nothing really coordinated. So that was fine. And then I thought I'd use these numbers or possibly hearts to try and tie some of that dark brown that's in the top in that chevron down to the bottom of the page. But again, that white space there is really bothering me. I tried filling it with that label, and that wasn't going to work. And then I thought maybe a journal card would look nice. Only I found that journal card and it says "A Day in the Life," and it worked much better up the top there to give a little bit more of the pink and tie that together there. So that then took out the using of "Love This," because I've got both the "A Day in the Life" is on that brown banner, and so it didn't really need that second brown banner there. So that will end up falling by the wayside in a minute. And that is just a piece of the exclusive pattern paper that's got the newsprint on it, and I thought maybe that might fill the space nicely, but what ends up happening is the text runs the wrong way, and so that doesn't work there. I do really like that pink, sort of salmony pink banner there, but it doesn't work with the title. So I end up using this to sort of ground the picture a little bit, and it doesn't need the Love This, but that label underneath is the perfect addition there. So I just need to clean up this space a little bit because I'm starting to decide that every element that I've got there might work. And I wanted to incorporate some more stamps into the layout because I did do this layout for the stamping blog post. So I have that stamped label, and I really wanted to put the date on this as well. And so I will use in a minute the stamps to put 2017 in, and then I will handwrite the date on top. So this is where I play with the those two different alphas there, and the green was too dark, so I put that away. And then I found this white that actually did a better job of covering up the fall without you questioning what it was that I did. So I glue that down. And I wasn't sure what letters I was going to use. I do need to trim it a little bit though in order so that you can see that the greeny blue whitewash above and below, as well as to the right and left of that banner. So that covers up fall so that I could put racing in there. And I decide that pink is going to come from these letters here, but they are a much brighter pink than the rest of the layout. So in order to soften it a little bit, I get out my brown ink and some sandpaper, and I sand that. And by sanding down the really bright pink, it softens the hue a little bit and sort of gives it more of that aged, distressed look like the rest of the layout has. So I tried it on an X there. It might have even have been a Z, and decided that I liked it. And so there you see in inked and distressed in order to put that on that that black sort of little banner thing that I have there. It was hard to see because I did go over it in ink. The white got covered up. So I just used my fine brown pen there and outlined the letters just to give them a little bit more definition and make them more distinguished. So we have in paradise. And what I end up skipping here is I couldn't find a font that was going to work. So I actually did pull out some letter stickers from actually from my stash in order to put racing on there. And they were that same sort of greeny, browny, bluey color that is in the succulent, sort of that gray blue that's in the succulent at the top there that coordinates. So here I have 2017 on a stamp, and originally my plan was to put it above the banner or there and stamp directly on the picture and fill in some space, but it looked better there. And then I'll use that same brown pen that I outlined the letters in, and write August 3rd because that was the date that this picture was taken. But in the meantime, I'm going to... So there you can see I've put racing in. And so I still have a few embellishments that I want to incorporate into the layout. But really, with all of the different paper layers, it didn't need any more embellishments. And the embellishments were only going to take away from what's already a fairly busy background. So that tag did not have a hole in it. I just used a hole punch. And then this ribbon that came with the kit was perfect to add a splash of color to that really dark strip up there, and just sort of soften that up a little bit. So I used my tweezers to pull that lovely silk ribbon through, and then trim that down because it's just a little tall and hanging off the page. So that is the layout done. I stamped the label and I stamped the date, and then I'm just writing in the journaling here, and the journaling says ICSA, that's the name of the meet, Post-Season Championship Meet at St. Pete, and the pool is literally 10 feet from the beach, lined with palm trees. No time to play. And then you have the title, Racing in Paradise. So that is my, again, another multi-font layout title to use up some of these tropical feeling papers with a tropical feel picture. And I have some close-ups to follow. So thanks for joining today. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask down in the box below. If you don't subscribe, I'd love to have you join me. I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for stopping in today. Take care.